Hey guys, I wanted to come in and chat to you about the current energy, more specifically the planet Saturn and how that is in retrograde and how is that impacting and influencing not just the current energy, but the energy for the next 4.5 months, because Saturn retrograde doesn't actually go into full completion until October the 23rd. So that means you're in this for the long haul, okay? So you may find that some of the things that I chat to you about may not resonate with you, and then there'll be other things that deeply connect with you. So just take what you find connects with you and see how you can apply it into your current world at this moment, or see how it's connecting in. Hey Laura, how are you, gorgeous? So the planet Saturn is in retrograde. So it's very similar to when Mercury is in retrograde. So it's a very big time to pause and stop, rest, but also for reflection and for revising. So the theme for planet Saturn is it's a strict teacher for personal responsibility. It's also about being able to harness your unique gifts and accepting your destiny. It's also around management, so time management, energy management, financial management, being able to see where your energy is being distributed and channeled, and if that's giving you good, if there's an equal balance. It's also a really great planet for what's the other thing? Getting your shit together. Sorry, that's the primary thing. It's about getting organized, getting your shit together. Because what's actually happening at the moment is that anything that does not fulfill strength in your foundations, there's going to be cracks in it. And all of those cracks are opening up and things are starting to fall away. So Saturn can feel like a really destructive type of energy and really confronting, because that's what it's doing, is it's enabling everything that does not sustain any foundational growth for you to be able to grow into your most highest, most authentic version of self. Anything that does not align with that is just completely falling away at this point. So even if you try and hold on to shit, it's not going to allow you to. It's there designed to fall away, so that the foundations that you build from that are on a solid level. So you may find that there is going to be a lot of challenges and obstacles and fears, but just remember, you can conquer them and move forward. This is about a course correction. So you're going to find a lot of those things that have been inhibiting you, things that you've probably maybe put on the back burner of wanting to do, and now just getting brought into your awareness and really confronting. You can find situations with people in your loved ones in that social circle, the people that you love. There's going to be disruptions. If there's any or has been any disharmony in the relationship, any of those harboring of emotions are going to come to the surface big time. So you're going to find things, a real depth of vulnerability within your own self. There is going to be a vulnerability and a resilience and an incredibly heightened level of sensitivity that comes up for people during this time, because some of the experiences that you will encounter are going to have a very big impact on your heart chakra. So self-care is going to be really, really important, and honoring your emotions. The words that comes through really strong intuitively for me to be able to share with you is to be able to remind you that it is okay that you feel that way. So what that means is to honor the emotions that are coming up for you. Explore what within that experience that you're having at that time, what in that experience is unsettled or requires major adjustments, and in some cases what requires you to completely walk away from that, which that in itself can be confronting. So these experiences and the information that comes through are going to come through either internally through that internal dialogue that says, hey, have a look at this, or why are you doing that, or is this sustainable, is this worth your time, is this worth your energy? And those are the kinds of internal dialogues you're going to have. But then if you are not tuning into that internal dialogue or dismissing it, then you're going to find external situations are going to force you to have to take action. So this is that moment where you step into your power. Now, I do want to iterate, when we step into our power, sometimes it's done from the energy essence of bravery and courage, but sometimes also stepping into our courage can also come from that place of vulnerability and sensitivity. Can be like, I'm so sick of being treated this way. I am not going to take this any longer. Boundary violations are going to be brought into the forefront, like really crystal clear. It's like the veil that you've put all of those things that you've probably wanted to address before but didn't, and now that veil is just completely fallen away, and it's like, boom, here's the stuff right up in front of you. So you're going to find that you're going to be wanting to get really organized. So decluttering of everything, that includes emails, texts. I know some people that have had emails for, or text messages for years and kept them, and it's just a stream of conversations back and forth between people. What do you think happens with that? It's dense energy. We're at a time where, so think of yourself as like 100% of energy. When you have text messages and you have for some people, they have thousands of emails sitting on their email counter, that could be taking up 20% of energy within your whole 100%. So that's a big portion of energy that is dense and stuck and not of higher vibration like yourself. So when you tidy that up, guess what? You get that 20% back. You will find that you will be in that moment of, well, now that I've done that, I'm going to get in, I'm going to clean my wardrobe, I'm going to get rid of anything in the house that I no longer use anymore. So you're going to have this massive purification process going on through deep cleansing. You'll be going to the dump, you'll be going to the Salvation Army, selling things. All of this is about bringing back more energy so that you have more energy and more time management to bring all of your energy in to focus on your goals, because everything at this time and point that you are doing is about setting yourself up for the future. So the thing I want to remind you of is, even though some of the challenges that you may be facing, please remember to not to be discouraged by them, but to give yourself permission to listen to the message that is coming through from this planet, which is Saturn, which is personal responsibility, boundaries, time management, energy management, stepping into that higher version of self, making the choices to either stop doing things that are completely not aligned with you, which you've probably already been thinking about, and it could be, and I'm just going to throw an example out. You could go, you know what, I'm sick of eating junk food, I'm going to focus on eating healthy and start going for a walk every day. Now, you would probably already have had that coming into your forefront, ruminating around for a little while, but now all of a sudden it becomes super, super important. All of that it's about building the strength within yourself that is only of the vibration of things that align with you for your highest potential. So this is a really great time of knowing that, the expression of being awakened, being shaken to be awakened, it just comes to the forefront. There's something in there for you to be able to go in and tidy up around that. You're also going to find your intuition is going to be freaking on fire. So please don't dismiss the information that is coming through for you. It is there from your soul and source, your cosmic team, to remind you of that inner guidance tool that you have to be able to help support you at this time and point. This is also the most fabulous time to use any of your spiritual practices, i.e. oracle cards, tarot cards, Reiki, anything that is about being able to support you on this journey to help you build even more trust and confidence with your intuition, but also in ways to be able to support yourself as far as self-care, because you are going to be feeling like you are on an emotional roller coaster for quite some time. So to be able to endure that and be able to implement all of the lessons, to be able to follow through with the lessons and the challenges and overcoming them and facing your fears, you're going to need the energy to do that. So self-care is going to be important on every spectrum of self health. Just as an example, sometimes we can also learn things through reverse engineer. The last couple of days, I know myself, there's been a little bit of what I would call a little bit of an old pattern emerging. Now, I have been working really heaps the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've been up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning getting some work done. And again, I recognized, I've been saying to myself, hey, look, this is not sustainable. You're going against everything that you stopped doing these patterns a long time ago. Now, what are you doing bringing them back in? So that was that reminder of, yes, we may find that some may slip into old patterns, but it doesn't mean you need to stay in them. Recognize them as fast as possible and bring them back into alignment. As I said, course correct at any given time. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It just means that the faster you bring awareness into it, the faster you can bring that back into alignment and congruency with yourself. Saturn is also about revising everything that you ever learned about career, boundaries, and responsibilities. So, it's also going to be an element around being really mindful of when you are around certain people where your energy is at. If you find that you're around certain people and your energy just gets zapped, or it gets depleted, or it is triggered, or it is activated, something is not right there. Explore what that is. Have you been staying in certain relationships with friends or people or associates or colleagues, or in your career that it just doesn't feel right and you've just tried to make it work? There are other alternatives. Remember that you are born to live a life of harmony and happiness, and it is important to be able to put those factors as a priority. Boundaries are going to be pushed big time by people, by about their expectations and what they want from you, and this is a time that stepping into your power is going to reinforce building that resilience and strength that you may have let waver for a little while, but now it's going to be time to really strengthen those. So you're going to find that anything that there is a boundary violation, things that come up around are like respect, value, worthiness, trust. They're all going to be things that there are going to be experiences that are brought into your world, and if they're not stable and strong, there are going to be situations that are brought into your world for you to take action. Hey Stormy, how are you, beautiful? And so all of these things are helping you to build the most strongest foundation possible. So please, please, please remember that everything at this time and point is for your optimal life and vision for yourself that you've always known. Now, you would have had that vision of yourself and the life that you desire, and it's been sitting there for a while. Now the universe and planet Saturn are going, okay, we're going to bring what you want into this world, but first we must get rid of all of the shit. Hence why Saturn is about getting our shit together. But the one thing I really do want to enforce and remind is that if you work with this planet, you will come out the other side of this completely transformed. completely. There's no way, if you're removing things from your world that are incongruent and are everything against who you are and the life that you want, there is no other option than for you to have transformed that much that you will be a completely different version of self. That is why this is going to go on for a little while. So as I mentioned, Saturn retrograde goes through until October the 23rd. So all of these things that I'm talking about are going to play out in multiple ways in your world. You're fighting for it now, most definitely, gorgeous. That's exactly what this is all about, is to reinforce your strength and be reminded that you don't have to tolerate shit from anyone. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I always think that every single person has a few little people in their inner sanctum or in their world where they would naturally allow certain behaviors, certain actions and attitudes and energies and to that you dismiss them because you don't. This whole energy is not about confronting people and being aggressive and disrespectful, but you will find that there are some. I always think that people always have at least, a few people that you've wanted to address certain things with them, but just haven't, because you don't want the confrontation. This is a time where you need to consider, if by not confronting that situation, how much is that impacting you and consuming more and more time and energy and holding you in a place where you, by holding that back, you're actually reinforcing to yourself that you are unworthy to be able to speak your truth. So therefore, if you're finding you've got throat things coming up, you're not expressing your internal world. You're not allowing yourself or giving yourself permission to value your own self, to be able to speak your truth. So there's something in being mindful that your physical body is going to relay back to you where energy is stuck. So you may find all of a sudden, oh my God, I've got a really sore neck or a sore shoulder. Energy is trapped there. Something for you to explore and go underneath the surface to see what emotion is trapped in there, what experience, what has been triggered, and be able to work through that and dissolve the energy that's getting trapped in that physical body. So our physical body is going to be a really great indicator of how you're traveling along. It's wonderful time for rest. And so, like, we've got Saturn retrograde, and here in Australia, we're also going through the winter solstice, which is all about rest, like being a bear, almost like hibernation, resting, reflecting, going within. So the two energies that are combined at the moment for people on this hemisphere, I think it's the northern hemisphere we're in, I can't remember, sorry, but in the hemisphere where Australia is, we are going through a deep internal reflection point now. So you're going to find you're going to be having lots of moments of deep introspection within your own self, recognizing areas that are not generating the happiness that you really want, and really starting to look at considering what are all of the options that are available to you to be able to reinforce new changes and transformation. That's going to be imperative. Now, the other thing that also comes up is about accessing ancient wisdom. So you're going to find that you are going to have a lot more connection to past over loved ones. They're there for you to ask for assistance. Some of the things and situations that are going to play out in your world, not all the time are you going to be able to either cope with. You're not sure which angle to take. You may not even be sure what you even need to do with it, but you know something needs to change. Please remember that you have passed over loved ones, you have spirit guides, you have your whole cosmic team, you have a whole backing of celestial support there. So ask for assistance, ask for help for whatever you need. If you need help with a certain person, if you need to be shown more information, if you want to learn more about what's your lesson in that. Also remember, they're there for healing. As I've mentioned many a times before, if I'm going through stuff, whenever I go to bed, I always put out the invitation to all of my celestial beings to come in and give me a healing while I'm sleeping. I want to make sure that I'm getting the healing that I need done while I'm sleeping. So never forget that. So I hope this is all, there's probably so much in your head that's spinning around at the moment, and you may find that you want to listen to this a few more times over. And one of the things that I enjoy to do is to save videos that I find informative, that I want to be able to refer back to. I just press the three little dots on the side once this video is finished, and there's an option for you to save it. So then therefore you can come back and listen to it whenever it is that you need. Now, with Saturn, the other thing that comes through is karma. Karma, big time. Now, karma isn't always about, most people, when we think about karma, it's about someone did something wrong to me, they're going to get their shit come back. And yes, of course, there's always that element, but please remember that karma is also on the good side. If you have done good things and great things, those good and great things are going to come back to you tenfold as well. So please remember that. You're going to find that with, and sometimes the karma good things can come back through our signs and synchronicities. Let me give you an example. Say you've been working on something and all of a sudden, I'm just trying to, right, let me give you an example. Say you've been going to the gym and you feel like you've been slogging it. All of a sudden you just notice like you're not getting the results, you don't see, your body shape doesn't seem to be changing, you're contemplating whether you should keep doing it. All of a sudden you're going to go to the gym and someone's going to say, oh my God, you have changed so much, you are so much stronger, your body shape is changing so well, you look happier, you're much more fluid on the machines there, you know, and that's going to be confirmation coming back to you, which again is going to be that karma of that was exactly what you needed because you were at a point where you were thinking that it doesn't work. So it can also be in this time that whatever was missing before, that you needed that little final piece of the puzzle to make something tick and actually start showing you results, it's going to start happening now because that's your good karma coming back to you. So that's something to be really, really mindful of. Or you may even find that something that may have happened to you in the past and it was unpleasant and it held a lot of emotions and pain points there and trauma, you may find that all of a sudden something may, oh God, I'm trying to word this in a way where it doesn't sound like blame, shame, guilt or anything of that description, but we can find out about if it was influenced by another person, we can find out through other people about them, and that usually happens through this time as well, which can be sometimes the element of closure that you needed for yourself, or that reminder that it's not actually, wasn't even worth holding on to all of that resentment or any of that trauma. Awesome. Love, 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 love. Yes. So again, I love that, Stormy. You again, as I said, it's like getting organized and getting shit done. So you're going to find that anything that you have that you are deeply passionate about is going to come to the forefront. So I am so freaking super excited that the book you started 20 years ago, it's time to finish it. I love that. Again, that's giving you that closure and that reminder of something that you began 20 years ago. You were so deeply invested in and so incredibly passionate about. That ignition of passion and purity and the reminder of your dreams and goals and the personal responsibility, because guess what, dreams, goals and visions are personal responsibilities. They don't just, the dreams that you want don't just come to the forefront and they're just like magically this wand of sprinkle dust is sprinkled over us for to make our dreams come true. We have to do the work, and you're going to find that all of those beautiful steps are going to be reminding you of that personal responsibility of your passion and commitment you make to yourself. I love that. I love that, Stormy. This is all just ticking the boxes of, because when we do this soul, all of the stuff where I say talk about cleansing and purifying and stuff like that, I also see is like what we call our soul work, working in alignment with our soul, because our soul will bring up what it knows you've been holding on to, and it's going to bring that into your awareness to say, hey, you don't need this shit anymore. And you're going to be reminded of that, that you'll go, all of a sudden something's going to click in your mind and you're going to be like, fuck, I actually don't need that shit anymore. And that's 9 times out of 10 going to be the language, and it will just fall away and it will just not even be an issue. And you will find that the sign will come saying, done a great job, self-love, something of that description. So songs are most definitely today are going to play out big time as signs and synchronicities to remind you of some of the things that you want or need to do for your own self. And this is where it is going to be. I used to think that Mercury, or not that I used to, I know that Mercury retrograde is an imperative time for self-transformation, but Saturn, man, that's next level. And I can't, and I'm so excited to see where people are when they look back in, 5 or 6 months time and go, during that time created the biggest catalyst of change for me. I'd had enough and I started making things different. And there's going to be a conviction of self. You don't need to prove to anyone. You don't even need to go in to prove to yourself that you can do it. There will be such an inner calling for you to just follow certain pathways, and there will be such a sense of fulfillment and love and passion and commitment, because the question is always going to come back to, why is this important for you? And those words are going to play over in your mind for the next 4 or so months. So always reminding and bringing you back to the importance of that personal responsibility to be able to know, where are you channeling your time, energy, and if you are taking the steps towards your futuristic self that you want. Oh, you're so welcome, Stormy. Hey, Viv, how are you, beautiful? So, there will also be a lot of family, what I call family karma drama, so generational healing. The one thing I really want to reiterate here is every single one of you, now really listen, every single one of you are leaders in your family. You are the go-to person. You may have even been called the black sheep, but you're the person that is about to cut all the links to all your family trauma. And because of that, you're doing that for your own self because you've had enough. But the one thing I want to remind you of is that you're changing it for every single generation to come. So even though you may feel like that's a big burden to carry, remember, you're going to be doing it for yourself. You were put on this earth at this time and point to cut all of that family karma crap from this moment forward. So that little black sheep or that odd one in the family or the different one, you're the change maker. So please remember that. Now, in those moments, why we are making so many changes, why we're undergoing so much transformation, I do want to remind you, sometimes transformation is far from fucking pretty. Or is it easy? But if it was easy, everyone would do it. Don't give up. Find people, really great people in your circle where you can go in those moments where you just feel like, you know, you just need someone to not offload, but someone to just go chat to, because you may be feeling like you may want to give up, or you're sick and tired of doing this. And sometimes we just all need that little support network where we can come together and just chat with someone. And all of a sudden it's like cleaning the slate and you're ready to go again. So, excuse me, surround yourself with great people through this time. And you're going to find that through this time, you're going to have more of a calling to get into those environmental Mother Earth factors that bring about a soothing and a rebalancing. So that could be the ocean, it could be nature. they're going to be, you're going to have these senses of like, oh my God, I just have to get to the beach, or oh my God, I just have to go for a bushwalk or go for a walk where I'm around trees and nature, gardening, those kind of things. They're all that way in which to know that Mother Earth is there as a support network to be able to help you, because environmental factors like the ocean and nature are a natural absorber of negative energy. And so, therefore, you can be in those environments and have, when we're going through a lot of transformation, we can feel heavy, we can feel full, we can feel weighed down. And when we go to those types of Mother Earth environments, it's a releasing of everything. So we get that beautiful lightness come back in. So if you feel that urgency to get to those types of environments, do it, because your soul is guiding you again as to what you need that will help support you bring forward that lightness again. That is wicked. I'm so pleased that you enjoyed camping. Camping can be that beautiful combination of both water and nature as well. So we really have so much going on at the moment. So don't dismiss what you're going through. Remember the phrase that I said at the beginning, which is, it is okay that you feel this way. Now, when we go through doing that revision, revisiting the past, we can dismiss how it made you feel. And here's some examples. You go, yeah, that happened to me, but it doesn't bother me anymore. That happened to me, but it's okay. What that does is it completely dismisses it. Or if you happen to get into that mind funk of going, this happened, but I'm going to be okay. This is happening. That's not fair. And you get into this tirade of back and forward, almost like that. You know, when we see movies of the angel and devil, we're going to have, there could be potential for you to get into that moment. The only way that that can continue is if you're dismissing how you feel. You can actually say, yes, that did hurt me. Yes, that is how I felt at that time. Yes, this occurred to me, and this is how it made me feel. The moment that you can honor how you felt at that time is the moment that you dissolve away all that old patterns of getting into an argument back and forward, or spiraling downwards, or being triggered back into the same emotional state that you were at the time when the first pain happened. This is not what I want for you. I want you to be able to look at it and understand that, yes, this pain existed, but that is something that you are honoring within your own self, but you're choosing not to take the energy and emotion from that past trauma and drag it into your now and haul it with you into your future. That is not going to suffice you in any way, shape, or form. And if that does happen, your soul and Saturn are going to bring it into your forefront of saying to you, hey, don't go down that way. It's not conducive. It's not happening. It's not healthy for you. So it can be a time where you may invite in getting some healings done. As I said, 2022 is the biggest year for healing, because sometimes we're going to be able to do some of those things on our own, and there are going to be other times where we may feel that we need the support of someone else to help support us and hold our hand as you dig into the depths of where some of your trauma is. And there is no shame in that. It actually takes a great deal of courage to be able to commit to saying, hey, I've been carrying around this particular theme for a really long time. I've tried everything that I know and it's not working. I'm going to invest in someone, and I'm going to invest in myself by saying, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. And again, send out the invitation, send it out to Soul Source, all your celestial support team, and say, please bring into my world the person that can help me on this journey of cleansing and releasing and healing that particular area. And that right person will come into your forefront and you'll know exactly who that is, or be brought in over and over again as a sign saying this is the right person to support you at this time. So there is so much going on. There's going to be lots of self-care activities. I'm going to share with you a couple of the self-care activities that I find are really beneficial, that may resonate with you and help you through this time. Spas and saunas are one of the greatest way. Spas help soften any of the tension that is within your physical body, because remember, as I said, our physical body is giving us excuse me, pain points to let us know that we've got dense energy in there. So having a spa is a way of softening that energy that's in your body, which may then give you the capacity to re-look over whatever those emotions are from a much softer approach. Saunas are a fabulous way because they actually sweat out all the toxins attached to old experiences and old dense energy. If it's out of you, it can't be vibrating within you. And that's where we can do certain self-care activities and rituals that will naturally take care of things without you actually having to do the work, if you know what I mean. Which could just be like, I know, as I said earlier, I've been working really hard. Not that I don't generally, but the last 3 weeks have been huge. So for me, on Friday afternoon, as my gift to myself, I'm going off to have a spa and sauna because I know that my body needs that at this time, and whatever needs to be released will be released in that given time and frame, and will help reset everything again. And it's that beautiful nourishment that you're giving back to yourself. So that's one thing that I like to do. The other is my husband and I, we love to go riding by the ocean. It's just that absolute sense of freedom of one being near the ocean, breathing in that air, but that moment in time where nothing exists. You're not on your phone, you're not doing these kind of things, and you can just be present 100%. Excuse me. What are some of the other things that I've been doing? I have been drinking a lot more herbal teas because it's more winter. I don't really enjoy drinking water, and so I find it more challenging to drink water in winter. So I honor and I know that there's so much internal work going on, and to support that, water is your number one go-to. H2O flushes out the toxins and the crap. So I've been drinking a lot of herbal teas, and I have been taking more time to sit and be quiet, sit and reflect, sit and just go within, and giving myself permission to just check in on my own progress. So there may be things that is something there that may connect with you or give you confirmation that you're already thinking about doing some of those things, and all of a sudden you're like, oh God, yeah, that's just confirmation that that's the right thing for myself. So it is going to be an amazing journey come the other end. Does facing all of these things mean it's easy? No, but it's worth it. Please remember that it's going to be worth the challenges that you overcome, and conquering your fears and letting go of anything and any person or any situation that is not congruent with the version and the vision that you have for yourself, and that you will be forced to face some of the situations, because it's about taking the actions that you have been putting off before and resisting. Now, excuse me, you may have heard me use the expression before, soul either allows us to go willingly or it's going to skull drag you. So you may not have been so willing because you may not want to confront certain things, but all of a sudden soul's going to go, face this shit, we need to move on. And so you'll be skull dragged. Don't think that is anything less. It just means that you're dealing with some deep stuff, but it's time to face them, and that you have everything within you to be able to do this. And you have the support of all the celestial team backing you 100%. So always invite them in to help you every single day. I'm so pleased. I had actually done a lot of this conversation inside of my weekly energy forecast, and I'd hoped that more people had been able to hear that, but I've noticed a few people have just mentioned that are not always on my email list, and that they were unsure of what was going on. So I really wanted to come in and support everyone, to give you ideas, suggestions, and let you know of any of the energy that is occurring out there. So I think this is something that I'm going to do a little bit more regularly over the next coming, obviously the next 4.5 months while we go through this, as ways to just help support each and any of you. And if you find that you have something that is particularly going on, please reach out, put a comment in the group, private message me, and I'm more than happy to come through. And because usually whatever's going on with one person will be going on for many. So this is a way that we can support each other, all of these gorgeous souls, through this time, and offer suggestions and support networks, and just to know that you're not the only person going through this, which is something that we tend to do. Is if you recognize that you're hiding because you're ashamed or you're embarrassed about something, remember, there is nothing to be embarrassed about. You have a certain soul's mission, and whatever you've been through has been part of that. The worst thing you can do is continue to hide. Come out into the light and share it. When you share something, you lighten the load, and you'll be surprised at how many other people have been through that. Know of someone that has been through that can help support you and just give you a little bit of love along the way. So thank you so much, Stormy. That's so beautiful. I'm going to jump off. My throat is really dry from talking. Many trainings over the last few weeks. So if there's anything else I can help you with, just tag me below in the comments. As I said, remember to save this. When the video goes finished, there'll be 3 little lines up on the top right hand corner. If you click that, it'll say save for later. Just save it for later, and then that way you always can go back to it and refer back to it, because I have delivered a whole heap of content this evening. So you guys all take care. Oh, thank you so much, Stormy. I look forward to hearing that song. So take care. Much love to you all, and know that I'm here to support you. See you guys.